Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. I'm Vashi V, and joining me today is
Right. Welcome to episode 47 out of 49.
and podcast episode 450.
Oh, really?
Yes,
But that's like main episodes, not all the like movie
yeah,
specials we
yeah.
did.
That's just mainline.
Still, though, that's a lot. We've been doing this for 5 years.
I know.
Ugh.
We only got 2 weeks left.
Ugh.
At least at the moment, I'm still trying to work some shit out.
Right, like, at the very least, I'm done in 2 weeks.
Right. If
But,
anything, this may switch over to my channel with me and basically talking about the episodes while gaming and whatnot. But yeah,
uh,
but welcome to episode 1 of 3.
uh,
And it took this long for me to finally get the intro right.
uh. So now it's time for the Zenkaigers to raid Toji Tendo. Yasude sees them off with a "be careful," and the Kikai no is reassured, like, "Don't worry, we'll make sure Kaido gets back safely." Like, no, 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 I'm talking to all of you. You all better come back safe and together.
Like, as much of a standard moment that was, the fact that they still don't realize the depths that people care about them.
Right? It's like they're just here because they've been fighting the Toji Tendo, but like, no, she sees you as family. Like, you live here. You're part of this.
I will admit, some of my favorite moments from this episode involved yesterday, even inadvertently.
There was a lot that went on this episode. Uh,
But at the same time, not a lot happened.
so Ijure presents all of the remaining Tojiro gears to Bokuwas. Based on that pile, I'd say there's probably like another 50 in there.
Yeah, there
Like
wasn't much
another
left.
season's worth.
Which is funny because, like, if you look at the scene from last week, in the very end, when he says it and it does the scene, shows you the gears, there were a lot more than that.
Yeah, I'm sure this is. Maybe he's like already grabbed some beforehand, and. Or this is just prop representation. Like.
Right. Like, I mean, this could literally just be, hey, we have
In.
gears
In.
that have nothing in them, and these are the ones that do.
In theory, though, like, if they're as specific as Persimmon World and Dried Persimmon World, then, like, there should be infinite gears.
Right. I mean, hell, diamond and sapphire.
So, uh, Bugawas is absorbing all of the remaining world gears. Meanwhile, the Zenkaigers are storming the palace. Their actions not going unaware. That one guy, like, "You shall not," gets taken the fuck out on the way by.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who read that in Gandalf's voice. Like, my favorite thing with that scene is they're like, they're running off down the hallway and from goes, oh, that way.
Oh yeah,
It's a nod back to the fact that he used to work in the damn
yeah. He
palace.
was the janitor. He knows his way around.
The fact he's not in the lead during all of this is amazing.
Like, I was a janitor at Pride and Whitney for a while. Like, my badge let me into areas that most employees couldn't go because there was like restricted access. But as a janitor, you have to get in there to clean.
Yep.
So I was able to walk around almost anywhere. He was probably in a similar boat. Although they don't really seem to have much security restrictions.
No, they didn't seem to because his ass just popped up in every location.
Not to mention the lack of doors.
Yeah, that is a hindrance.
Uh, uh, Meanwhile, Geej is continuing to return Kikai Noids to Kikaitopia, while Stacy reflects on his conversation with Kaito and about how Stacy doesn't deserve this kind of treatment.
I mean, yes and no. Like it comes into play later. It's like 100%. I get Stacy's side of things, why he feels that way,
Why
especially in the specifics for this episode. He's 100% fucking accurate.
why he feels like
He why he deserves what he's gotten and where he's at. He 100% feels
but like a, but like Kaito's point was like you don't have to keep going back to that.
right.
Like
And to be fair, Kaito has been kind of slowly pointing that out. Of good, dude, what are you doing? Because even prior to Mr. God, he's been back and forth on what for lack of a better term, what side he's on. Granted, for purely self-serving reasons, like him helping Kaito and all that with his dad was solely because, well, you Toji Tendo took my friend away. It's like it's been somewhat self-serving. It's like, but it wasn't necessarily with I want to be a good guy. It was just one of those. Yeah, no, you dicked me. I'm gonna dick you. But Kaito has slowly been trying to get him to realize, even early on, it's like, dude, why do you keep going back to that place?
it's not just Kaito's words that are bothering though. It's also his own mother's about how he's always been such a sweet boy, but Stacy disagrees. I've never been kind. That isn't me. Or maybe he just doesn't remember a time when he was innocent.
I think this is that point of he spent way too much time around Koji Tendo and Barashitara and all that, which has turned him into the no, I'm gonna you're just gonna turn into a pale comparison because I'm just gonna be way better than you. And in this case, it just meant he had to do more evil shit.
Uh,
Like to me, I'm just chalking that up to more backstory we didn't get from Stacy due to you know there being what 3 or 4 episodes that had nothing to do with Stacy.
right, like Stacy's story arc has been the story arc of the show.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
The plot of the story of Zenkaiger is Stacy.
like, this is what it's all been building up to. So we should have all the information we need at this point.
Which I get we can't show everything, so let's infer a lot of stuff. Which is what that was to infer that yeah, before all of this, Stacy was kind.
We don't know how old he was when his mother passed away. And
to be fair, he's part robot. We don't know how old he is now.
also true. His dad has had like 700 wives.
So,
who knows how many other bastards are out there? So yeah, there's still a lot about Stacy's backstory we don't know, but from what we can infer, uh, his downward spiral all started with his mother's death.
Which I can 100% believe and buy.
So maybe the whole "I've never been kind" comment comes from the stuff that his mother didn't see of him.
Right.
So it's like,
which is entirely possible.
You don't know what I've been doing.
Which is not wrong.
Like, he probably was filled with hatred the moment she died, and Barashitara didn't care.
and I feel he more blames Baristar for it happening.
Probably.
At least in the guise of you did nothing to help.
The Zenkaigers, following Vroom's instructions, make their way to Bakuwa's chamber. But you're here too soon.
Blink.
Just trapdoor out the fucking window.
That was a great gag. I'm not
Followed
gonna lie.
up by another great gag where Majin is holding onto something. Jordan's like, "Don't worry, I'll catch you. Go ahead and jump." Wait, what are you doing here? Psh. So yeah, they get separated. Kaito and Vroom land one way, and Juran, Majin, and Gowan land the other way, where they run into some of their friends from Earth. What are you doing on Kikaitopia, though?
I have no idea. We just got sent back here.
They don't have much time to talk about it, though, because Ijirude's got a new robot.
Of course he does.
It's a spruced up version of the one Hakaiser was using, I believe.
I mean, it looked like a mix between the two. I liked the mech. I'm not gonna lie, it looked kind of awesome.
Cut back to Stacy, who has made his decision. He returns to Colorful to confront Yasude. She can tell something's bothering him and tries to be welcoming and friendly. Like, here, have a seat. I'll make you your usual. I'm happy you're here. But he's not here to enjoy himself. He's here to confess.
Hi, I'm Stacy, and I've been trying to kill your grandson.
Stacy? The Toji Tendo boy? And he admits to everything, that all the fights he's had with Kaito and the root cause of it, of how at first he just wanted to upstage his father and prove himself worthy of the Toji Tendo army, and then he grew increasingly jealous of Kaito's life the more he got to know him, and it became a personal grudge.
Right, like it turned into well, look at all the nice things you have. You get to go back to here, Colorful. I have to go back to hell.
You have so many people waiting for you at home. You have loving parents that care about you. You have all these amazing friends. And Yasude's response is to march straight up to Stacy, grab him by the ear, and tell him, "Stop it with your foolishness."
Like everything about this scene is exactly what we needed and what we've been waiting for.
Right?
Like, and the sad thing is, like, when I thought about the whole him switching sides and all that, it's like my brain didn't register the whole having to face Yachan, because my brain just registered it as he'll switch sides during the fight, or between him and Kaito will just go home and explain everything, which he kind of did, but apparently he left out a fair bit of information.
Well, because he didn't want to worry her. And right. He didn't want her to resent him for trying to kill Kaito.
Right, but and that's absolutely, understandable. It's like, as much as this is what it needed to be, it never crossed my mind for it to be like.
Yatsude doesn't miss the forest for the trees, though.
No.
Like, she sees the whole picture. Not once has Kaito shown any actual resentment to Stacy.
Right.
If anything, he's only ever been concerned about him.
Like, at most, in terms of any type of negativity towards Stacy, towards Yachan, was more the whole worry of, well, what's he gonna do next?
Oh, that Stacy's boy's been giving you trouble again, huh?
Like it was done to perfection for this too. Um, I don't know the legitimacy of it because I'm in several groups that are into tokusatsu and all that. And there was a rumor that, in terms of how the scene played out, it was improvised.
Really?
Yes, there's rumor. I don't know if it's legit or not, but yeah, that's what a fair amount of posting I've seen for it.
That'd be really cool because it was well done.
It exceptionally. I cried. Legitimately, I will accept that.
This is how you get the tears.
I turned and I watched this Monday at work, so that was fun for me at work. And then I got home and I watched the episode with Pixie, and I even started getting choked up while watching it with Pixie. Knowing what was coming, I'm like, and to me, that is a testament to this show knowing what to do and when to do it. Because if you look at the show as a whole, would you have guessed that this would be a thing that we would have gotten in this show?
Nope.
That has been nothing but 46 episodes of jokes.
Nope. This is the most serious moment in the entire show.
And it nails it perfectly.
It's like, Yasuda knows what's going on here. Stacy isn't an enemy to be hated and resented for everything he's done. He is a child in need of help. And she tells him, they're like, you will find your place. And you will always be welcome here.
And I'm sorry, the next that one particular scene coming up, I thought was hilarious with Room. That to me, that was like the perfect icing on the cake for this scene.
So back at Kikaitopia, Juren, Majin, and Gawan see Jirude's mech and grow big to go and take him on. 3 against 1. Yeah. They're stronger when they're combined together, but 3 against 1. Let's go. They actually do a really good job of holding him off.
Until, you know.
To the point where he has to call in a Kudai test to help him. Like, they were taking him on. Just the 3 of them. No Kaido.
Right. Granted, by that point, it was more stalemate than... Because it was right. Just back and forth, pushing back and forth.
But, like, he wasn't winning.
Yeah. It was clear he wasn't going to win.
Cut to where Kaido and Vroom landed. Kaido is pulling Vroom out of the trash.
Of course. As soon as it happened, my brain immediately went back to him calling his roll call.
Before they can join in the mech fight, Barashitar interrupts them, knocking their guns out of their hands before they can even transform, not giving them an opening, forcing them to be on the run and on the defensive. This ends now.
Like, 100%, it just proves that Barashitaro is just...
Playing. He even admits it, like, when he approaches them. It's like, I wanted to enjoy this a bit more, but Bakuwas is in a pissed off mood right now, so we gotta end this.
Like, it's rare that we see the generals, like, go after, like, the changing devices.
That's how you know he's serious.
And to be fair, I get why. Most of them are physically connected to the person.
But here, he's like, he's no longer interested in an encouraging fight. Like, no, he's ready to win. Play to win.
But I was like, watching him take out their ability to change was, to me, my favorite part of this little segment.
Even, like, firing his missiles on them in that short tunnel, like that sewer pipe, To the point where even Room is just like, are you crazy? You're launching that in here?
But by all accounts, that's how you do that.
That's how you win.
That should have succeeded.
Kaido should have been fucking done.
But if that happened, we wouldn't have. Normally, if that would have happened, we wouldn't have 2 more episodes. I have to account for the fact that they killed Result Red prior to the finale. Because in my head, it's like, well, you can't have a finale without, the last 2 episodes without, the main character. And yeah, you can. I keep that happens.
Before Barashitara can finish them off, his attack is interrupted. And Sechan shows up to guide them to safety. How did you get here? He brought me. Stacy.
And we get the caveat of the scene of him going, yeah, I apologize to, all this. And Vroom goes, dude, I worked for Toji Tendo and she's fine with me.
You what?
Wait, what?
You? Well, this is embarrassing.
What was I worried for?
Oh, God, wow, okay. Everything is in a new perspective now.
In defense of Vroom, at no point did Vroom attack Kaito.
No. But and even if he was just a janitor, he still worked for Toji Tendo, though.
Right. Until he got fired.
Wrongfully charged with treason.
Yeah.
Over a secret that came out anyways.
Right.
That's the craziest part to me. He tried to shut him up and it didn't even work.
He got an episode or 2 late of reprieve from it?
I don't even think he got an episode. I think the next episode Bakugo was pissed that the worlds were being liberated. So, Barashitara finds where they were hiding since they weren't able to go very far. Stacy is ready to take his dad on, though. But alone? Yo-ho-ho, yo-ho-ho, yo-ho-ho. The pirate
Having
family.
them all sing it was fantastic.
Yeah, no. That's how you up the ante.
Yeah, we're back. We need answers. Let's kick some ass.
It'll take a bit while longer for us to cure Katana and Riki, so let's deal with this in the meantime.
We can go back there anytime.
Besides, Zox has a bone to pick with Barashitara. And, hey Kaito, don't you have a bone to pick with Ichirude? This is all of our fight. We're all involved here.
I still find it funny it's episode 47. Zox is still doing the whole, I'm here for my own reasons. I'm not part of your shit.
That's his character. From the...
Was not, though I will admit this was not the 6-person roll call I was expecting.
Now with one of the Kikai Noids outside finds Kaito and Vroom's guns. Maybe we can use these to help. How do you use them? Starts unloading into wall next to guy's head.
God.
Kaito and Vroom.
I'm glad they brought the joke back.
Trigger discipline. Don't hold a gun if you don't know what that is. Kaito and Vroom are attracted by the sounds of gunfire. And they take them. They're yours. Remember, the reason that they don't have them in the first place is because they were too scared to fight. Leave this to the people who are willing.
Willing. And let's remember that, one of the people who were willing to fight almost shot herself in the face.
Trigger discipline.
Trigger discipline.
Kaito and Roma are able to join in the fight and combine the mechs together, with Kaito jumping in on Juragawon and Sechan jumping in on Rumajin.
That was great.
Mech roll call.
I wasn't expecting that. I expected one of two things to happen. Either there to be no roll call this episode, because there are points during the last handful of episodes where we just don't get one because
I didn't even realize
running it.
We hadn't gotten a roll call yet until they did that, and I went, oh, this is what we're doing.
Right, it's like, because the outside of when they fell out of Toji Tenno's, and right before they left, they were transformed the entire time.
Yeah, they were in suit for a lot of it.
But them including Sechan, and it was great. Unnecessary, but great. And the fact that we got the roll call of each member / mech form was fantastic. We don't get a lot of those.
With the Kudai test swiftly taken care of, it's time for the final battle against Iji Rude. And boy, do they have a bone to pick with him. And he's all...
Boy does Majin.
You're always in my way. You're the one that's in the way. You kidnap my parents, steal their technology, lock the other worlds away, use their power for evil, turn my dad into a cyborg, brainwash him, getting in everyone's way this whole time. The list just keeps going.
And it's and everybody's like, yeah, it's like, but... And everybody else adds one thing, and Majin goes,
you're really smart, but you use your powers for evil instead of the benefit of all.
And you get Jiren going, despite all that, I am thankful for one thing.
Because of you bringing us to the other world, we are able to meet our friends. And for that, we thank you. But for everything else you've done, every other single thing you've done has been a super duper worst ever, unforgivable in overdrive, pain in the butt.
Everything about this was fantastic. The only negative thing I have to say is Kaito's response to Iji Rude going, I'm going to keep, my technology can't be beaten. I feel he said the wrong thing.
It wasn't your technology?
Yeah, which is my parents' tech. You stole your shit. It's my parents' technology won't be beaten. I'm sorry, he just should have responded with,
you couldn't beat us.
What have we been doing for the last few months then?
You couldn't beat us with better technology than yours.
In my head, she should have just responded with something along the lines of, dude, we've been kicking the shit out of your technology. What are you talking about?
It wasn't his technology. He stole all of it.
What about those 5 or 6 mechs that you've thrown at us that we've just mopped the floor with?
True.
And so in my head, I was like, to me, that would have been a better response. I get why they did it the way they did.
With the final blow struck, Iji Rude is gone. He better be gone.
Yeah, he better.
He better be gone. There's nothing left for that guy. His story is done. Meanwhile, Zoxa and Stacy are having trouble with Barashitara. It's looking like a tough fight. Where did Flint go?
Oh, hey, God.
Gage has possessed her. Hey, this one is actually smart. Let's use that.
Also, I do like the fact that we got the validation of why he freed Pirate Tokyo. Because, like you said, 100% it was supposed to be the, hey, it's back. Let's go home.
Uh-huh.
And instead, they showed back up, and he goes, shit. Yeah,
Well,
let's make lemonade out of some lemons.
based on the next episode preview, I think next week is the final showdown, and then after that is the epilogue.
Right. With the fact that we still got to get through 2 villains, theoretically. I say theoretically because of how everything's playing out with the next show.
Maybe I think the standard is like to start the battle in the penultimate episode and then wrap it up in the first 10 minutes of the final episode. That's how it goes, right?
That is what they've been doing here lately.
Yeah, so that's probably what's going to happen.
Can we talk about the preview?
Which part?
You know which part.
Bakawas?
That is the ugliest goddamn thing I have ever seen. And I've seen Genis.
Parts of it are retooled from the guy from Tokyuger.
The prince?
Yeah.
It is. Wow. I didn't even piece that. It's like, but no, that looks hideous.
Well, I didn't piece it together myself. I noticed online because I saw you complaining about the suit, so I wanted to like get a better look at it than in the preview, and that's what I found.
Like when I mentioned it, I was going to send you a picture of it, but I waited because you hadn't seen the episode. Like, to me, it's just hideous. And then he's got like the weirdo matrix of leadership in his chest with the red ball in the center.
Right.
Like, I've seen shitty ass forms before. Because, let's face it, it's Sentai. They're usually not the best. But my god.
Something I forgot. Gawan's pun in this episode. I found out what the meaning was when I was looking up the suit. So Bakuwa's name is derived from Bokuwasu, meaning wreck-it. So pretend that like his name is basically Wrecker. Gawan's pun was the equivalent of saying, time for Wrecker to get wrecked.
I'm sorry, I just love the fact that I'm gonna bonk him.
Yeah, that's what the translators did to like try and make it fit, but like it was the equivalent of saying time for Wrecker to get wrecked. Or let's wreck Wrecker.
And sad thing is now all I can think of is I'm gonna wreck it.
Me too. When I first saw it.
Well, I mean, Bakawas is a wall, so who knows? Maybe he was part apartment. But yeah, it's like this is that point. Is like Sentai knows what it's doing. It makes me wonder how this doesn't make more money. I mean, it makes sense why it doesn't make more money because kids are picky and finicky.
Oh, interesting. Bakuwa's voice actor was Azald in Zyuohger, the blue cube man.
Oh, the traitor.
And Tank Joe from Ryu Soldier.
He got promotions.
Huh.
to me, this is like with as good as this show is, and to be honest, as good as Sentai has been, I hate the fact that this is all based in toy sales on whether or not a show does good.
Mm. Gotta fund
Like,
the show somehow.
which I get, and that makes sense. This is like, but under normal circumstances, like if this was here, it would solely be based on rating. Um, and I feel like ratings wise, I like this show is phenomenal because this show, as dumb as the show's premise was to start with, let's face it, this show was pretty dumb. Outside of the Stacy plot, like it wasn't bad, and I don't mean dumb in like a negative way. Just more of the it wasn't like Lupat or even Kira Major wasn't this punny and coincidental, etc. Um, the fact that this show can get this serious and still be as amazing as everything that came before it is fantastic. I think part of the reason why Rider does better than Sentai in terms of toy sales is Rider's more for older kids.
Yeah, Rider hits a slightly older demographic. It's more of a drama series. Although in recent years it's been more of a superhero show than the drama aspect, but
But
it
like
it
it
hits
still hits
it hits more serious tones and themes
right. It's like in my head it draws in more of the kids that are watching it, which makes them want the toys more. Like
plus
let's face it,
all
kids want
the
toys of everything they have.
plus
Of
all
every
the
of
evil
whatever they want.
riders
Right, yeah. Which I get why they kept going back to Rider versus Rider. I'm glad they more or less seem to stop for this season, outside of like two particular instances. Um, but to me, is like to compare like toy sales for Rider and Sentai. I think that's unfair. Did you laugh at the GIF?
no, well that, but also my roommate tiptoeing past the doorway to not make any noise.
So I'm in what would essentially be the study of my house. It used to be a room because the house I'm in used to be a duplex, so this used to be one of the bedrooms and the bathroom's attached to it. There's no door on this room, so I put one of those disc lights on the wall and I turned it on before the podcast.
I have a door. It's just this room retains heat, so I
Yeah,
keep it open.
that is one of the reasons I haven't put one on this. Otherwise, there'd be a fan. Damn. Like I completely get that.
So Pixie has left a comment.
And is 100% accurate.
You only thought the show was about Kaido, but really it was about Stacy. The last episode showed so much growth in him. I've been saying this show was about Stacy this whole time.
Right. Like the first 5 or 6 episodes before he shows up.
He shows up around the same time Zox does, like a little before, so around 10 to 15 range.
Like that first 10 episodes was literally just to set the world so they can introduce Stacy and begin Zenkaiger. The first 10 episodes are a prequel. But yeah, it's like this. I think this is the first time we've had a story like that was set up this way, to where literally the entire main cast is just background noise to to a secondary character being the entire story from the time of their introduction to the end of the show. I don't think it's
Mm,
been. I don't think it's been to this level.
I enjoyed Tokyuger's villains way more than the Tokyugers themselves.
I mean, to be fair, anybody who watched that did. Though I was showing Pixie ending dances, and I specifically and intently went back and showed her the original Q-Tama dancing. Her response is this? Her response was, "Is this Q? Or is this Tokuger?" Or in her case,
No.
is this the one with the trains? Do you want to know why she said that?
Why?
Because the first attack made by the train mech is the penis one. And that's the only thing that stuck with her through any little bit that I've shown her for Tokuger. And she's like, that just seems more appropriate for the penis trains. But yeah, like I will give I'll give you that one for Tokuger in terms of the villains. Like, and as much as I want to keep calling Stacy a good guy, yes, he's clearly up until this episode, he's clearly a
We,
villain.
we've just been calling him a good guy because we saw this coming. Like
A long time ago.
the episode he was introduced.
Right, 100%. We saw. Well, he's switching sides. But yeah, he's clearly been a bad guy. It's like, but he because we knew it was coming, it doesn't feel like he's a bad guy. But
Like
outside
it's
of, but even with Tokuger's like a lot of everything going on still directly involve the main character. Like they still had their plot and story going through.
mm,
It was nowhere near as good as the villains. The villain story was fucking fantastic.
oh man, best villains.
It, I think I like that one because it throws in so much of
For anyone who hasn't
for
seen,
lack of a better term, it throws in the concept of like totalitarianism, like the dictatorship of we are evil, so we have to be evil.
right?
Mixed in with all of the villains having free fucking will and a conscience.
For anyone who hasn't seen Tokuger, the villains, all go through their own character arcs of questioning why they're the villains and what matters to them, what's important to them. Because they
I
all
mean,
start
hell,
out as like, we're the villains, so we're going to do the villain thing. And then one by one, they start to question, like,
why?
is the villain thing what I want? And for some of them, the answer is yes, and they die on that hill. But for some
Right.
of them, they realize there's something more important to them, and some of them die for that cause, while others get away.
Like hell, you spend what a good 40 episodes with them, or however long the main villain actually shows up. With him literally going, "No, I fucking love you guys. You guys are awesome. I want to be you." Before going, "Yeah, no, fuck this, I'm evil." Like it, I forget what his name is. The Prince of
Uh,
Darkness.
like Z or something.
Zed. Um, but yeah, he by far is one of my favorite villains because he's the main villain who literally goes, that doesn't seem like a bad idea. But it
Unfortunately,
physically cannot work.
right, like, unfortunately, the two ideals are in absolute conflict with each other, and he was trying to merge them together, trying to take what he already had and bring in the other thing and get the best of both, and it wasn't
And it
working.
literally would not work.
It was holding him back the entire series, and it wasn't until he accepted that it wasn't working and completely abandoned the other ideals and embraced his own that he achieved his full power. But by then it was too late.
But yeah, it's like we don't get a lot of shows that literally just focus on one secondary character for the majority of the show. Like we get, like you said, you get Tokuja with the villains. Um, you get what a good arc for Noel. And it's usually all it is, just a small arc. This has progressed through Stacy's entire existence in this show, and to the point of main characters taking a back seat for it. Because let's be real, the main characters didn't have much beyond we're gonna kick Toji Tendo's ass and find my mom and dad. Like that was the entire show for the Zenkaigers. And they succeeded. So now it's just we're gonna kick Toji Tendo's ass.
That reminds me. I have a guess as to where Kaido's mother has been hiding all this time. The one place they wouldn't look. Kikaitopia.
Yeah.
Not in Toji Tendo itself, but like
in Kikaitopia.
In Kikaitopia.
Like, I 100% expect his dad to just roll up in the van.
With her in tow,
Either with her in tow or like him stumble upon her, like Kaito stumble upon her in Kikaitopia after getting his ass handed to him by somebody. And then his dad just pulled up and go, yeah, that makes more sense. Why didn't I look here first?
No wonder you couldn't find her anywhere else.
I mean, it wouldn't make sense because this would be, at the time, outside of the locked worlds, which you couldn't have been in, this was literally the only place they could not go look. God, I'm not looking forward to the end of this show. I want it wrapped up. Because I want that nice little bow on this show. But the show has been fantastic despite the hesitancy we had at the start of the show. Because, like, at least for me, like, because me, the big thing I was worried about was, like, the over-reliance on, like, the slapstick comedy. And it just turned out to be golden. Like, I thought Kira Major was too much. I was wrong. Then I thought this show was too much, and my God, am I wrong there, too? It's not rare that I'm wrong in Sentai, but, yeah.
Dawn Brothers, gonna take what this show established and crank it up to 11.
And raise some goddamn questions. So, spoilers for Dawn Brothers, to anybody who hasn't seen the premiere show. Black and Pink, the Slenderman Pink and, 3-foot tall dog. They're human.
No, those are not those. They're voice actors. Like, no, they're human people.
They're human beings in the show.
They're only weird in suit.
Which, fine, whatever. It doesn't make sense unless you go into Avatar mode. Okay? To where they're just... these are just moving avatars of them. I can live with that. But then we have the fact that this is going... That Decade was involved in creating this technology. Because it's literally fucking Gokaiger with gears instead of keys. As per scans. So, the scan is literally an image of the Dawn Brothers Black.
Inu brother,
a real soldier gear, and then underneath it, showing that Inu brother turns into this, literally turns into a real soldier with the Dawn Brothers belt.
Changes into the suit but keeps his own belt. Somehow this is Decade's fault.
Like, which raises the biggest fucking question. If this is going to be how their series and how their powers work, why? Why do the stupid suits? Outside of, hey, gimmick is different, hey, look, come look at this, flashy, it makes no sense to do it.
Because they're probably only going to spend like 2 minutes an episode in the different suits, and the rest of the time in their ones.
I know, but it's the constant, like, because to me, with this being the way it works, either there's some freaking some Keeper Ranger magic involved in this, and they're just going to be back and forth, and like they're literally going to shrink and grow, or this is 100% just their avatars, which again would fit with the name of the fucking show.
Right. All right.
Like there are questions. It everything I see for the show that keeps popping up just raises more and more questions.
Find out on March 6th.
Until then, we're gonna power through the next.
Yeah, I'm out of hot chocolate, so thanks for joining us tonight, everybody, and we'll see you next time.